You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Coming up, we've got a special visit from our good friend Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society here to talk pet adoptions.
Also, the Joplin Police Department releases the name of the victim involved in a shooting over the weekend.
And we've only got bad news in the forecast. Heat advisories kick in for southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, run until 8 o'clock. Northeast Oklahoma, while it's not shaded, your excessive heat warning returns, and it will run till 8. Your complete forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Joplin Police Department releases the name of the victim from a weekend shooting. Early Saturday, officers arrived at 35th and Finley Avenue to find 34-year-old Gregory Hallstrom of Joplin with multiple gunshot wounds. He was originally listed in critical condition. No word on whether that has changed. Authorities are still investigating the shooting. The man who died from an early Saturday morning crash near Grand Falls in Joplin has been identified as Carthage resident 19-year-old Keenan Reed. 2 other people were injured in that crash. Texas's Department of Public Safety says it is reviewing the actions of every police officer who responded to the Uvalde school shooting that claimed the lives of 2 teachers and 19 fourth graders. Preliminary report says inaction by law enforcement may have contributed to the tragedy. Harvey Biggs has the latest, including parents once again demanding accountability.
Grief and anger continue to be on display in Uvalde, Texas.
For the injustice that has gone to our children.
This was the scene last night as angry parents and residents sounded off at the local school board meeting. They want to know what is being done to safeguard the schools in the future. Many also calling for District Police Chief Pete Arredondo to be let go.
If he's not fired by noon tomorrow, then I want your resignation and every single one of you board members, because y'all do not give a damn about our children or us.
State police officials have blamed Arredondo for failing to take charge of the situation. But a preliminary report just released by a Texas House Investigative Committee says other agencies should have stepped up and assumed command. The investigation found, quote, egregiously poor decision-making at the heart of the botched response to the shooting.
We gotta get in there. We gotta get in there. He just keeps shooting.
Surveillance video shows police arrived at the school within minutes of the first 911 calls. A total of 376 law enforcement officers from nearly 24 federal, state and local agencies descended on the scene. They waited over an hour before moving to take the gunman down.
Hey, we're going in or we're staying here? What are we doing?
School officials told parents they're considering delaying the start of next school year to make sure more safety measures are in place. Harvey Biggs, CBS News, New York.
Chief Arredondo has been placed on administrative leave as the acting chief of the city's police on the day of the shooting. Texas State Police yesterday announced it will be conducting its own internal review into the actions of dozens of troopers who were at Robb Elementary during the shooting. Joplin opens 3 downtown buildings as cooling centers. They are City Hall at 602 South Main, the Webb City Department at 321 East 4th, and the Public Safety Center at 303 East 3rd Street. Those centers will be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Number 1, stay out of the heat if at all possible. Number 2, if you have to be out, make it as short a time as possible. Stay hydrated, get some good electrolytes into you, find some air conditioning as best you can.
For more tips on how to stay safe in the heat, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Miami Public Library will also serve as a cooling station. The library is open through the week during the day and also on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is closed on Sundays. Also, to find a cooling station near you, you can go to our website or download our mobile app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Big Brother Big Sisters of Pittsburgh, is teaming up with Drop the Age for an event for the kids and their mentors to have a night where they learn how to make pizza. They got a chance to make their own pizza and they all enjoyed it together.
It's a blessing for us to be part of a community that has given us so much joy, and it's nice to be able to return the favor.
Big Brother Big Sisters is a nonprofit and was founded in 1904. This year is the 40th anniversary of the classic film Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And one way it's being celebrated is with ice cream, a flavor called the Wrath of Khan. Truck giving away free ice cream is visiting Southern California. It was in Santa Monica on Sunday. The truck will be at San Diego Comic-Con next weekend.
I'm just really disappointed that I'm not going to be in San Diego next week. So everybody at home should know by now. If you don't, I am a massive Star Trek fan. And honestly, The Wrath of Khan is quite possibly the best Star Trek movie ever made. Ever made. And by the way, that's his real chest, Ricardo Montalban. That's his real chest. That wasn't a prosthetic they put, that was made for the movie, but his chest, that's how he really looked. That's why they showed it off. They wanted to show off that muscle. But man, it is the best movie ever made. That's my opinion.
I used to fix my hair like that in the 80s. Did you?
Let me think. I really didn't have a lot of hair in the 80s. It wasn't until about 1989, I guess, 1990, before I had a reasonable amount of hair. So.
Probably because you were just born.
Yeah, exactly. 1987 is when I was born. So the first Star Trek movie made in my time was Star Trek V in 1989.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I missed this movie by no means. I came from a family of Trekkies, and we watch this. I watch it repeatedly because it is good. Even if you're not a Star Trek fan, check it out because it's good. It's really good. I just want to focus on good because what I have to tell you in the forecast is it's the wrath of Khan, honestly. It's the wrath of the sun. It's the wrath of the summer. Quick look, the heat does go on. So recap, today is day number 9 of 100-degree plus temperatures. It will continue. Maybe a stray shower or storm early tomorrow in some of our southeast Kansas counties, otherwise dry. 2012, by the way, 27 days of 100-degree temperatures. Skywatch Storm Tracker not showing anything. Want to recap real quick. Heat advisories for everybody in orange. They'll kick in this afternoon, run through 8. Northeast Oklahoma, while it's not shaded yet, your excessive heat warning does go back into effect, and it will run until 8 o'clock tonight. We'll break down the full forecast and how hot it's going to get if you really want to know here in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Chris. Up next, the new 988 suicide prevention hotline rolled out across the nation over the weekend, and we're going to take you to one healthcare provider in Missouri who's going to tell us how the new number is already making a difference.
And later, as mass shootings have become a daily occurrence, we'll take you inside the Webb City School District to show you how they're preparing for a more secure start to the school year. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In Health Watch this morning, the national 988 hotline is up and running. Now, anyone dealing with a mental health crisis or struggling with thoughts of suicide can call, text, or chat to those 3 digits for help. As Laura Barchiski reports, there's already evidence about how the hotline was needed.
Provident Behavioral Health celebrated the state rollout of 988, the suicide hotline, and got right to work saying the increase in calls, quote, is evidence that the word is getting out about this new number and people recognize they need it. And the 988 dialing code is making it easier for people to reach out. They expected an uptick and staffed accordingly.
So I would easily say that we are in the top 5% of states that are a little bit more prepared and ready throughout the nation.
You can call or text 988 to be connected immediately to a mental health professional, something Marion McCord with Chad's Coalition for Mental Health says is so important at times when people feel alone.
I'm just excited for those people that are sitting in so much pain that they can easily connect to resources and get connected to help, because there's help and there's hope.
Lauren Moyer with Compass Health says 90% of callers just need someone to talk to and can be helped right there on the phone. But the other 10% need more intervention, and through 988, they can get that to them as well.
We're enhancing our mobile crisis response across the state. And that's where I can come to where you are in the moment versus calling a 911 officer to come to your home, or an ambulance to come to your home or tell you to go to the emergency room.
And if a mobile response isn't enough, there's more steps beyond that, creating a whole continuum of care.
We have these behavioral health crisis centers in different areas of the state. We have 10 up and running now that we can use 24/7, 365 as an alternative to the emergency room.
The 988 National Suicide Hotline officially launched Saturday. You can go online to 988lifeline.org to learn more. The U.S. Navy's Elite Flight Demonstration Squadron has made a historic choice for its upcoming season. Monday, the Blue Angels announced for the first time ever, a female pilot will fly its fighter jet demonstration. Lieutenant Amanda Lee will take the controls with another pilot for the Angels 2023 season. She will need to complete an intensive 5-month training program with the other new members of the team. While Lee is the first female fighter jet demonstration pilot, the Blue Angels say hundreds of female Navy service members and Marines have served with the team over the last 55 years. All right, the bad news. Here we go. Let's get started. The good news. It looks nice at 7th and Range Line. It feels nice at 7th and Range Line right now. But see how the sky got brighter? It's because the sun's coming up. It's what it does this time of day. And as it continues to climb through the sky, it's going to bring warm temperatures right behind it. We're still looking, if you're in Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, you're doing all right. Upper 60s right now. Everybody else about the mid 70s. But don't worry, if you're missing the heat in any of those cities, you're going to join in later because that's what's going to happen. We have got temperatures soaring into the lower 100s by the afternoon. Light southeast breeze at 5 to 10. It'll switch to the west by afternoon. Calm breeze overnight, and temperatures not looking so good tonight either. Upper 70s, lower 80s for overnight lows. So that means that's how we're going to start our day tomorrow. Future track does show some cloud activity out here. It's really not going to do much for us. Later tonight into early tomorrow morning, there may be 1 or 2 showers in southeast Kansas. Otherwise, we're going to stay high and dry and stay high and unpleasant out there as well. We head into tomorrow. We start the day nice and warm, and temperatures will very quickly soar back into the lower 100s once again. Drought situation not looking good either. We'll break that down more. A quick look at the 7-day forecast. Alert days all the way through Saturday because these temperatures, lower 100s, and this is the scary part. It's not letting go. It will not let go, and we don't have any good chances of rain coming up either. Well, more on the complete forecast and just how bad this is really going to get when the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 returns.
All right, I'm joined again by Jasmine Kyle from the SCK Humane Society, along with Mason, who is sitting so well down here.
He
might have to adjust our camera. He's behaving in a very great stance.
I know, he's very relaxed this morning. As you can see, he is a very sweet, gentle soul. So Mason is a 3-year-old Great Dane Greyhound mix. He is as big as a Great Dane and has the body build of a Greyhound. He is fantastic with kids and other dogs, doesn't mind cats. We have had him at kids' educational events before. We have had him at adoption events with other dogs and seeing the Publix animals as well. He knows how to sit and shake on command. He is looking for almost any household in all reality. If you have been looking for a unique dog, that especially if you have a kid concentrated household, he would be over the moon to meet you and your family.
Aww.
Especially this weekend. We have something very special happening. We are very blessed to have the support of the Best Friends Animal Society, and thanks to their tremendous support.
Is that a local group?
No, it's a giant nonprofit here in the States, and they work with shelters, and they have actually a large sanctuary where they help homeless animals. But thanks to their support, we will be waiving all adoption fees for cats and dogs this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All of our animals are already spayed and neutered. microchipped and up to date on vaccination. So you don't have to worry about anything. We have everything already taken care of for you. And then we're even giving adopters a free leash and collar this weekend too. Oh, excuse you, honey.
Stepped off of the platform there. You're okay, buddy.
Thank you. Hi, thank you so much.
Now
But we
get to see
have
his
lots
size.
of amazing dogs that'll be at our shelter. That is Hawk. Oh my gosh, we love that boy. Knows how to sit on command, super energetic, loves to go onto nature hikes and trails, and is an absolute baby doll. Very, very sweet boy.
Aw.
Jack. Jack is our longest tenant out at the Humane Society. We had him for a year and a half almost on medical care. As you can see, he's been doing dog training classes with Good Boy Professional Dog Training. He can now walk on heel. He's met with other dogs. He knows how to sit on command. And thanks to their amazing support, whoever adopts Jack will also get a free month of training lessons from Good Boy Professional Dog Training
That's
too.
awesome.
Yes, so we would love to see him find a home this week, and I believe all our staff would be in tears.
How often does Good Boy come out and work with the animals out there?
Yeah, so they're very busy, but whenever we can get them, we love to have them on site, whether that is training our staff, making sure that we're up to date on training protocols out there and how we're handling animals, to when we have certain cruelty cases or behavioral cases, we will ask them to come out for their advice, because they are the professionals in this field, to say the least.
One thing I did want to talk about this morning with the heat.
Yes.
What can we do to keep our animals safe?
Yeah, the heat is incredibly bad. Just like Chris was saying earlier, we are into some really nasty areas, especially all the way up to the end of this month. Please do not leave your dogs in cars. Please, 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 please. I know it's nice to have, them hanging out the window and almost be an icon. It is not pleasant for them, especially if you have to go in to a store and you can't bring them with. For example, let's say that it's a really nice day. Let's say it's 70 degrees out and you have to go inside for groceries. You get caught up doing groceries. Within 30 minutes, the air temperature in that car will go from 70 up to 115.
Can you only imagine? That's when it's 70, but
Yeah.
when it's over 100 degrees outside?
Exactly. They're baking. They are literally baking. And for dogs and with heat exhaustion, their internal temp, very close to that humans of heat exhaustion, is 103. They will not survive that, I'm sad to say. So please keep your animals home. Keep them in the AC. If they have to be outside, please put them inside, but make sure they have plenty of water, plenty of shade. Put them in a garage, something where there is airflow though. And when I say put water outside, it needs to be changed as well, because again, think if you have a bowl of water outside and it's 100 degrees outside, it's going to get hot very quickly. So that needs to be changed very much throughout the day to make sure they have cool access to water. But again, have them inside. And there's a lot of fun ways that we were talking about earlier on how you can help cool down your dogs. If you have a pool, you can do water enrichment. We personally like frozen DIY treats. You can make those out of watermelon juice for your dogs. Banana puree and mixing it with peanut butter. You can get silicone molds like at Walmart for $5. It's a fun activity for the kids in the household. Pop them in the freezer and you've got healthy dog treats that are also frozen, and they get a gnaw and cool down that way too.
Now there are some fruits that we want to avoid.
Yes, absolutely, and it's not talked about a lot, and I'm glad we brought that up. So there's 4 fruits that we really stay away from. Any pitted fruits, so plums and peaches, not so much because they're really toxic to dogs, but it's the pits. Don't want them choking on that, and it's really not good for their digestion. However, there is one fruit in particular that comes into 2 forms that is very, very toxic to dogs, and that's grapes.
Really?
Yeah, grapes contain a toxin in them, and what a lot of people will do with grapes is if you usually have grapes, there's a good chance you have raisins in your household. Raisins are even worse. Raisins will kill a dog. It's because that's been dehydrated and the toxins are that much concentrated. Do not feed your dog grapes or raisins. Please, please, please. They will start going into kidney loss, and you will have to get them to a vet immediately, okay? So make sure you do your research. We're in a time of age where you can Google. There's a lot of good sites where you can find some really cheap and easy DIY recipes. And if you have a food concern, you can always look it up online. The United States Humane Society has a page where there's safe foods for pet owners as well too. A lot of cool options for people to get creative this summer season.
All right, I'm falling in love with Mason
He's
here.
so sweet. And again, he's such a gentle soul. He would really fit into almost
dog.
any household at all.
How old is he?
He's just 3 years old.
3 years old.
So he has a long, long life ahead of him.
Yeah.
Again, great with kids, great with other dogs, doesn't mind cats. and knows how to sit and shake on command and will have no adoption fee this weekend.
And he is a big dog, so please take that into account.
Please.
You need to have appropriate space for a dog like this.
And he's a couch snuggler, so please, Mason asks in particular, he would love to hang out with your family and snuggle with you. So if he can't have couch time and if he can't have snuggle time, then maybe he's not the particular dog for you. But if you are a lover and he can be up Netflix and chilling with you, then oh boy, we might have your boy.
He might be one you might consider sharing your password with.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we have a story on that coming up here soon.
Ooh, cool.
All right, well, thank you so much for bringing in Mason,
Not a problem.
good luck with the event this weekend. Hope you guys adopt quite a few animals.
We
out.
hope so too. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you, and we'll be right back.
It's time now to honor today's four-state hero, Robert Summers. Sergeant Summers served in the Army from January to March of '04. He was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood with the Company A 735th Supply Battalion. Robert Summers also participated as a member of the Joint State Task Force of the 54th Infantry Brigade. He earned the Humanitarian Service Medal during his service. A native of Nevada, we thank you, today's four-state hero, Robert Summers. As students gear up to go back to the classroom, Webb City school leaders are working to make sure your kids are going to be safe. KOAM's Shagun Bamdele learned more about the new measures the district is putting in place.
As the new school year approaches, Webb City School District is preparing to welcome its students back.
This time of year is a busy time of year for all school districts. Our custodial staff and maintenance staff are busy upgrading, getting ready for the school year.
The Webb City School District is making changes to security this upcoming school year due to events going on nationwide.
You know, with things going around the nation, I think it's a time that we can always reflect and improve on, how can we keep our students more safe throughout the school day. So nothing specific, but I think that's something we always need to reflect, see where we're at, and if there's anything we can do to improve our students' experience here and keep them safe while they're doing so.
Laura also says the new security systems could help address bullying around schools. That includes new cameras in the school buildings.
The board just approved a student services plan that takes into account, as you mentioned, bullying, ways to address that with bullying curriculum for our staff. And so just all avenues in terms of that, we want to be more aware and obviously take action to be able to remedy those situations.
The school district says it is also updating its system for notifying teachers and staffs of potential emergencies.
You know, another thing we are doing is upgrading our notification system for our staff in Formacast, and so that allows our teachers to not only notify when situations are happening, but receive alerts that allowed us to react to situations that we need to.
In Webb City, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
Webb City students go back to school on August 22nd. Got another half hour of news and weather just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, KOAM photojournalist Carrie Worthen takes us inside of a Carthage landmark and the efforts to bring it back to life. And Toys R Us fans rejoiced as the iconic toy store makes a triumphant return to brick and mortar. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:32. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Joplin Police Department releases the name of the victim from a weekend shooting. Early Saturday, officers arrived at 35th and Finley Avenue to find 34-year-old Gregory Hallstrom of Joplin with multiple gunshot wounds. He was originally listed in critical condition. No word on whether that has changed. Authorities are still investigating the shooting. The man who died from an early Saturday morning crash near Grand Falls in Joplin is identified as Carthage resident 19-year-old Keenan Reed. Two other people were injured in the crash. And Ottawa County authorities say their jail was damaged by inmates over the weekend because of a pencil. Officials say 4 inmates Sunday evening got upset over another cell pod that received a pencil. They say those inmates ended up starting a fire in their rec yard, blocked a door with bunks, and smashed windows. Officials say when those inmates were put into another cell, they broke a hot water line. No one was injured during the incident. Zookeepers are trying to keep the sea life cool at an aquarium in London as temperatures spike across the UK. Penguins enjoyed icy treats and an octopus even played with a bucket. That's what you do when you're hot. It's part of a daily enrichment program. Britain is under a red extreme heat warning. Temperatures in some areas are expected to reach 104 degrees Fahrenheit this week, beating out Britain's highest temperature ever recorded, which was just over 101 degrees in 2019. Residents are warned to look out for the elderly, the vulnerable, and pets.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, as that story mentioned, London and Great Britain, they're not used to the temperatures like this. We've dealt with these temperatures. We don't like them. They're not good, but we've dealt with them more than once. But, over in the UK,
your body's not acclimated to it.
Yeah, it makes the temperatures we're seeing that much more deadly because, like you said, they're not acclimated to it. 100 degrees for them is basically 115, 120 because they're just not used to it over there. Not saying that it's good that we're used to it, but that is the way it is. I want to get into that real quick too with this heat because it's not going to let up anytime soon. So the heat does go on. Just for your information, if you're keeping track, today is day 9 of 100-degree plus temperatures. More are on the way. Maybe a stray shower or storm tomorrow. Most of it's going to stay dry. In 2012, we had 27 days of 100-degree temperatures. The Skywatch Storm Tracker has nothing to do for a while other than show us this. All of this orange is a heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight, kicks in this afternoon. Northeast Oklahoma this afternoon, this will start lighting up with an excessive heat warning that goes back into effect also until 8. 7th and Rangeline, the sun is rising, and as are the temperatures. 75 so far in Joplin. Most of us still sitting in the upper 60s to mid 70s as we start the day. And a quick look at what the forecast has to hold. We are going to be pushing sunny skies, temperatures in the lower 100s. And we're not going to cool off a lot tonight either, unfortunately, as we only dip back into the upper 70s to lower 80s for overnight lows. And the 7-day forecast shows no good news. We've gone ahead and put up alert days through Saturday because of these temperatures. And those temperatures have a grip on the 4 states, and they're not letting go. We'll have more when the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 returns. This morning, we're talking about how to beat the summer heat. And as we mentioned, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. These triple-digit temperatures are going to last with us through the foreseeable future. As we've been reporting, cooling stations are popping up in the area for people who have to be out in the heat. Swimmers are flooding local pools and swimming holes to try and stay cool. And you've got to get out of the house, use some ice cream or any other frosty treat to kind of reward yourself for even going out in this. And for everyone, be careful, stay hydrated, and keep an eye on your neighbors and pets. So that brings us to our morning talker today. What is something you're doing to beat the heat? You've got 6 options. So far, 79% of you doing the right thing. You're staying in the air conditioning. 10% of you are doing all of our options that are available. Meanwhile, 3% of you grabbing some ice cream and 4% of you using fans and or going swimming. That's, remember, vote, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in the app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. The Miller Mansion was one of the first houses built in Pittsburgh. Photojournalist Carrie Worthen toured the house and spoke to owner Larry Seward about a new project to bring the home back to life.
The Miller Mansion was a house that basically needed a little loving care. To me, it's an honor. I enjoy and like to bring things back to life. There's a sitting room, there's a dining room, there's a big porch where you can imagine people going outside, and it's got a great view. It's a very unique home. It's like bringing something back from the brink of destruction, and that's what we like about it. But that house was a labor of love. The structure of the house was in really good shape. Started renovating and started doing some things to it. The house has a great history. The house had great bones. We went to work on putting it back to the time period that it was, from the furniture that we put in to, everything. And when we were finished, the house, you walk in and it feels alive. It feels comfortable. It's one of them houses that takes you back in a time where things were a lot more easier.
You can stay at the Miller Mansion through Airbnb. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Zoom could soon be getting a run for its money from an unlikely competitor. Snapchat. Until now, Snapchat has only been available on mobile devices, but on Monday, the social media platform launched a web-based version of its popular messaging app. The company says it wanted users to have the freedom to switch between their phones and computers while continuing their conversations on the platform. But the web-based option also puts Snapchat in a position to go after some of Zoom's video conferencing market share. It comes amid rising popularity of Snapchat's video calling feature, which lets users start calls with up to 15 participants per session. Netflix is trying another method to crack down on password sharing. It's called Add a Home feature. Each account has one home where you can watch on any device you want. Users will then be able to buy additional households and pay an extra $2.99 per month. Premium members can buy up to 3 extra homes. If you're traveling, you'll still be able to watch on your tablet, computer, or smartphone. I wonder if that includes an Xbox. With the new feature, users can see where their account is being used and remove other homes at any time. The new feature is launching next month in Argentina, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. Toys R Us kids rejoice! The iconic toy store is making a comeback in a big way just in time for the holiday shopping season. Toys R Us went bankrupt and sold all of its stores in 2018. But soon there will be a store within a store in every Macy's in the U.S. It's part of an expanded partnership with the toy retailer's current parent company, WHP Global. The stores will range in size from 1,000 square feet in smaller locations up to 10,000 square feet in flagship stores in big cities. Square footage may expand during the peak holiday season. The rollout starts late this month and goes through October. Of course, Joplin has already lost its Macy's, so the closest one that you can find would be in Springfield. Well, technology has helped improve the safety of today's cars, and now researchers are trying to see if technology can also improve the drivers. Elise Preston takes us to the racetrack to find out.
Sebastian Buemi has more than a dozen wins on the Formula E circuit. Racing his all-electric vehicle requires concentration and focus. That's why researchers at Nissan are looking inside his head, analyzing brain activity while he drives in a simulator. We caught up with Buemi during this past weekend's Grand Prix in New York.
To see if we can improve the concentration, make sure we do a better job once we sit in the car.
This is modeled after the car that the Formula E drivers race.
Yeah. I was able to take a spin in one of Nissan's simulators with researcher Lucian Giorga. It may look like a video game, but this is high science. A device on my head tracks my brain reaction, while the program looks to improve brain function. While I'm driving, the video on the screen occasionally shifts. These deviations are designed to help enhance the unconscious and actually improve a race car driver's performance.
Help their brain be better synchronized and to work at a tiny bit faster speed than it usually does.
Their groundbreaking work is still in the early stages, but the hope is the research leads to training methods to make everyday drivers safer.
If you can make a Formula E driver a better driver, you've got very good chances that you can make an average driver a better driver.
Giorga is now accelerating his testing, looking to boost performance from the racetrack to Main Street. Elise Preston, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. As Better Call Saul, the spinoff of the TV classic Breaking Bad, is down to its final episodes. The city of Albuquerque is preparing a tribute.
Statues of leading characters from Breaking Bad, Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, will go up in front of the city's convention center this month.
Really? But like the critically acclaimed show itself, the idea is not without controversy in New Mexico, where the series was filmed.
John Cardinal explains.
What you're looking at is not a drug deal.
There you go. You got to do it like that. There we go.
It's just Debbie Hall doing what she does on a daily basis.
You guys Breaking Bad fans? Oh, you already got it.
Sell candy that resembles blue meth from the famous TV show Breaking Bad.
In the beginning, maybe 20 pounds. and they made that last.
In 2008, the production approached Hall about making candy that resembles blue meth for the show, since she sold it as a novelty, and it's brought her a lot of business.
From 2012 to 2017, I didn't have one day off.
When Hall heard that the city of Albuquerque will be putting up statues of Breaking Bad's main characters Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, she was excited. The statues were gifted to the city.
That brings people here. It provides me with an income. It provides Old Town with an income.
And the mayor's office agrees. In a statement, they said, quote, "The positive impact that the cast and crew of Breaking Bad have had in our economy and film industry can't be minimized. The franchise has had over $385 million in economic impact, lifting up countless local businesses." The statues will be unveiled later this month at the Albuquerque Convention Center. And while some say the statues may bring tourism to our city, others say it may ruin our image.
I feel that Breaking Bad has a lot of issues related to drugs, and if it has to do with statues related to drugs, I'm totally against it.
Well, I believe either side has got value.
Caroline Mead's home is famous. It's featured in Better Call Saul as Chuck's house.
I think if they put up two statues and you could keep your sense of humor about it, it would be fine. But it is a drug show, so yeah, I can see both sides of that.
Try my fudge.
As for Hall, she recommends those who are against the statues watch the show and really analyze what it's about, as one of her 7-year-old customers did.
He said, I loved Walt and Jesse, but I don't want to be like them. 7 years old. And then I asked him again, and then I asked him, what else did you learn? He said, I will never do drugs.
Yeah.
I've never seen Breaking Bad, but I'm learning that it's practically a documentary, an educational documentary from Ron and Tanya out here. So
while it does possibly show you methods of making drugs, it does show you the effects of drugs on people and reasons why you definitely do not want to do them.
Yeah. So I mean, it's almost like I said, like an educational documentary on here's what you can do and why you really shouldn't actually do it.
And if you ever got involved with that, it just kind of highlights all the drama that would be involved with it as too.
Quick check of the forecast. As you can see, we're starting in the upper 60s to mid 70s. The temperature will rise rapidly throughout the day because the sun will rise rapidly throughout the day, a lot faster than it may seem just because of how hot it's going to get. We're going to go into the lower 100s later on today, not doing a lot of cooling overnight. We're talking upper 70s, lower 80s for overnight lows. And a check of that 7-day forecast. I don't know if we want to see it. We've got alert days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll probably keep going because look at these temperatures. We're in the lower 100s all week long. Again, maybe an isolated shower or storm in southeast Kansas tomorrow, otherwise dry. And a look at the 10-day, this heat has a grip on the 4 states that's not going to let go. Make sure you are staying hydrated and that you are checking up on your neighbors and your kids and your pets because it's going to be in the triple digits for days with no relief in sight. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Parents and residents in Uvalde, Texas continue to demand accountability after a new report details the failures by law enforcement during the school shooting on May 24th. During a special school board meeting on Monday, many asked for the superintendent and police chief to step down, and some say they are hesitant to send their children back to school without significant changes. The so-called heat apocalypse rages on in Europe, where temperatures are 30 degrees above normal in some places. The heat wave has caused more than 1,000 deaths and sparked multiple wildfires. Today, residents in Britain are bracing for what could be the country's hottest day ever recorded. And the Secret Service will turn over data as soon as today to the House committee investigating the January 6th attack. Agency said some text messages from January 5th and 6th may have been deleted even after the Inspector General had requested them as part of an investigation. At the committee's next hearing this Thursday, a source with direct knowledge told CBS News that Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger and Deputy White House Press Secretary Sarah Matthews will testify.
All of us getting in on the heat action now. The period of triple-digit heat will roll on, heading into the lower 100s for today. Not doing a lot of cooling tonight, though, as we drop off into the upper 70s and lower 80s. And the 7-day forecast shows what I was talking about, triple digits just running on through alert days through Saturday. We may see more alert days as the heat and dry conditions continue, intensifying our drought situation as well.
All right. Well, some sea lions have returned to their natural environment.
See, there they go.
Yeah. 3 of 5 rehab sea lions, seen here, made a sprint to the ocean in Laguna Beach, California on Sunday as they were released by the Pacific Marine Mammal Center.
The 5 were given the names Chassis, Yoshi, Flint, Prouro, and Trifecta. The release happened as the center's annual fish drive took place to help feed animals in their care.
Aww.
And see, there they go. They're returning to their natural, and they are doing so very quickly. They're very excited to return.
Yeah, that water's probably pretty cool too. So.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, compared to what we've been experiencing, it's got to be decent. Well, guys, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more weather news. We'll be back at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.
Oh, the kids.